Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving deep into a truly fascinating Eastern esoteric text focused on Sthana with Gala Parmpa Pen, that is, the temple and spiritual cultivation. We're going to unpack a framework that actually decodes the cosmos and maps out the ultimate journey of the human soul. So let's jump right in.
Okay, here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the final age, then step into the Dharma temple. After that, we'll break down spiritual cultivation, lay out the conditions for heaven, and finally wrap up with elevating the mind. All right, starting off with Section 1, the final age, and the massive cosmic context behind it all. To really get the premise of this text, we have to zoom way, way out. We're talking about a massive 129,600-year cosmic cycle. Now, within that huge timeline, the opportunity for human spiritual salvation gets broken down into three main eras. First, there was the Green Era, roughly 5,000 years ago, where the Tao, or the ultimate truth, was strictly reserved for kings and supreme sages. Next came the Red Era, about 3,000 years ago, where it opened up a bit, but only to monks and hardcore ascetics. And that brings us to right now, the White Era. The text puts us squarely in this incredibly critical final window.
This white era is what the text calls the final age. And honestly, it's a bit of a paradox. On one hand, humanity is dealing with unprecedented worldly calamities. Basically, the collective weight of thousands of years of human ego and karma crashing down. But at the exact same time, because the clock is literally ticking, heaven has opened the doors. The Tao is now openly accessible to ordinary folks right in their own homes. No mountain isolation required.
Which brings us to Section 2, the Dharma temple, which serves as our sanctuary.
So, to shelter humanity during this chaotic final age, the text points us to a very specific kind of sanctuary, the Dharma temple. Now, we need to contrast this with your standard place of worship. Usually people go to a temple to pray for luck, ask for favors, or seek worldly blessings. It's a pretty passive transaction. But the Dharma temple, it's completely different. It's an active workshop for your soul. It's where practitioners go to receive the heavenly decree, deeply study the Tao, and undergo some intense, real inner transformation.
There's this absolutely beautiful quote from Master Ji Yogong in the source material. The Dharma temple is a pharmacy. It is a place to transform sentient beings. Think about that for a second. It's not a wishing well. It's literally a hospital for the soul, a place where spiritual sicknesses like greed, anger, and ignorance are actively diagnosed and treated. Moving on to Section 3, spiritual cultivation, the actual path we need to walk. So, if the Dharma temple is our spiritual hospital, what exactly is the treatment plan? Well, the text calls it cultivation. Now, don't let the word intimidate you. In this context, cultivation just means an active, lifelong process of refinement. We're talking about a rigorous, daily practice to refine the body, the mind, and your true nature, all with one ultimate goal: breaking completely free from the endless cycle of reincarnation. The framework breaks this down into three specific layers you have to diligently refine. First up is the body. This means keeping a close eye on your everyday actions and speech, actively avoiding harm, and deliberately practicing compassion. Next is the mind, which is all about catching those daily thoughts and reducing ego, greed, and anger. And finally, the true nature, which is your original soul. By cleaning up the body and the mind, you're essentially restoring your pure awareness back to its original, unblemished state. I want you to take a second and really let this quote sink in. To cultivate the path is to cultivate the mind. Jump out of your ego and you escape life and death. That right there is the absolute core wisdom of the text. Mastering your mind and taming that constant demanding voice of your ego, that is the ultimate master key to escaping the cycle of rebirth entirely.
Let's turn to Section 4, conditions for heaven, and the strict requirements involved.
Okay, so how do we actually get back to heaven? The text doesn't mince words here. It lays out 5 strict conditions. Think of them as spiritual trials you absolutely have to pass. Number 1, building virtue, which means doing active good deeds. Number 2, keeping precepts, essentially living by a strict moral code to stop creating new negative karma. Number 3, correcting your mindset to align with the ultimate truth. Number 4, forging your emotional temperament. And number 5, fulfilling your spiritual vows.
I really want to highlight that 4th step, emotional temperament, or huoho. The source text uses this incredible metaphor of tempering metal in a blazing hot furnace. Huoho is the spiritual endurance you build by facing life's harshest trials and most difficult people, but doing it without giving in to anger or frustration. Every time you maintain your peace during friction, you are literally forging and strengthening your spiritual metal. But this brings up a massive elephant in the room. Even if you start acting totally perfectly today, how on earth do you overcome 60,000 years of accumulated karmic debt? The text tells us humanity has been trapped in this cycle for eons, racking up a spiritual tab that is just unimaginably huge. So how is it paid off?
Well, to wipe the slate clean and satisfy all those karmic creditors, the text says you have to take some massive proactive steps. We're talking about actively fulfilling your spiritual vows, performing acts of profound, selfless compassion, spreading the Tao to help awaken others, and, this is a big one, enduring hardships without complaint. You actually have to accept life's struggles as the necessary repayment of those historical debts.
Finally, let's head into Section 5, Elevating the Mind, the ultimate stage of our journey. So where does all this rigorous daily practice actually lead? The text relies on this beautiful Buddhist metaphor that compares the mind to a mirror. An uncultivated mind is like a mirror covered in 60,000 years of thick dust. All our worldly desires, our attachments, our massive egos, it's so dirty it can't reflect anything clearly. But the cultivated mind? Through all that rigorous work, the dust has been completely wiped away. It reflects the reality of the world perfectly. But the crucial key is, it doesn't cling to any of it. Ultimately, the source boils it all down to a choice between exactly two paths. There is no middle ground here. Every single thought you have, every reaction, every desire, it's moving you down one of these two roads. It's either lifting you upwards towards spiritual liberation and a return to the cosmic source, or it's dragging you right back down into worldly suffering and the endless cycle of rebirth. Which leaves us with the text's ultimate provocative question. In this final age, with the window of cosmic opportunity wide open right now, which direction is your mind leaning today? Are you just letting more dust settle on the mirror, or are you actively doing the work to wipe it clean? Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the explainer. Take some time to really reflect on your own trajectory, and I'll catch you in the next one.